Hello and welcome. This is James Blanchard, Cisneros, at your service. Today I will be reading the June 23rd Facebook post and I will be making a few comments on it, and I trust that it will assist both of us on our journeys. Here we go. Releasing thoughts of judgment and self-judgment. God is love and love is all. Thus, regardless of how much the ego has programmed us to believe in judgment, there is no opposite to all. Thus, there is no judgment in truth. Today, let us remember that the truth in us can never judge others or ourselves. The ego, an illusionary concept within our mind that has become the false self. It is only it that uses judgment to fuel its so-called reality. Today, let us use this understanding to trigger in us the call to awaken from the illusion. Whenever we notice ourselves judging others or ourselves, let this become a signal to us that it is time to take back control of our own thinking from the ego. What a great gift it is to be aware enough to stop the ego from thinking, acting, and reacting for us. The quicker we react to the signal, the less time we will spend in the ego's judgmental mindset. Today, when judgment or self-judgment look to once again pollute our minds, let us not fan the flames of fear's false fires. Instead, say to yourself, I am not the ego's programmed self. I am now, have always been, and will always be God's loving creation. Truth does not judge me. Thus I will follow His example, not judge myself or others, and rediscover the peace and self-acceptance that is my true nature. God is love and love is all, and therefore, the only truth is this all, is this love. And so, every moment of our lives is an extension, an expression of this love. Now, the ego has muddied the way we look at these expressions of love, and it has created a niche for itself. It has created its own thought system that we have been programmed throughout our lives to believe as real. And so the ego takes the opposite of love, which there is no opposite because love is all, but it has created the idea that there is an opposition to love, an opposition to all, an opposite to God. And here it has created its little thought system that we since birth have been programmed with, because simply our parents and their parents were programmed with. So we hold within our own minds this little idea that what is not real about us is real. That the ego's reality is real. And in the ego's reality, the ego is real. But in truth, the ego is simply a false idea, a limited belief system within the mind that we now see as part of us. And so we have accepted the ego's thought system and all its tools, such as judgment, anger, resentment, jealousy, stress, anxiety, hate, revenge. Everything that is in opposition to love, anything that is in opposition to all that you experience, that you and me experience, is an illusion of the ego. And so the ego would have us use its tools, because if we use its tools, then it gets to survive through us. But today we're not going to judge ourselves for using its tools. We're not going to judge ourselves as not good enough, not spiritual enough, not wise enough when we're using these tools of the ego. Because that's what the ego would have us do. It would have us judge our brothers and sisters with these tools, and then it would have us judge ourselves as bad or not good enough or not a decent enough person, because we're judging our brothers through them, all in an effort to separate us from each other. Because truth is oneness. The ego's truth is separation. It wants us separate from each other, separate from God, so that it can have us to itself, so that it could be it and us against the world. And so whenever we're experiencing judgment today, or whenever we're experiencing anger or resentment, whenever we're acting against a brother in a way other than love, than truth, we're not going to put ourselves down or judge ourselves for that today. We're going to use the ego as an ally today instead of an adversary. For in truth, every moment is a gift that we offer to ourselves. The ego has painted it in a different way, that there can be good and bad moments, positive and negatives, in the world of duality. In truth, every moment can be used to raise yourself to a higher level of consciousness, to align with love. And so, see, we're going to use the truth to go into the illusion, to play with the ego's tools, and use these tools for our own growth and development instead of to judge ourselves for. And so when we're angry at somebody, we're going to remember today, throughout the day, we're going to remember we are just love. And love has many, many expressions such as kindness, peace, generosity, forgiveness, compassion. And so we're going to remind ourselves throughout the day that this is who we truly are. We are this love. And anytime we deviate from that into the ego's thinking, through judging our brothers or sisters or judging ourselves, then we're going to use that as a trigger, as a signal to remind us, oh, I'm out of alignment with my true nature. So when we are angry at somebody, we're not going to judge ourselves for that. We're going to simply slow down time, stop, remember that today we're aligning with our truth, with the love that we truly are. And so this, which is an opposite to truth, which is an opposite to love, is an illusion. But we're going to use the illusion to remind us that we don't belong there. And so we use this illusion to unite us with our truth, to remind us that we do not belong in that fairy tale any longer. But again, we're not going to judge ourselves for that. For it was only because we spent so much time in the fairy tale that we now have gotten to a point where we realize that we can actually use the ego's tools to awaken from its own illusion. And so all this cursing that we did against ourselves, all this self-judgment, all this judgment of others in the past, now looking at it through the truth, now looking at it through the eyes of love, we see that they were useful to get us to this place of remembering our true nature. Because we can only play in the fairy tale for so long before we start to ask ourselves, is there not a better way? How much can I burden myself in the illusion? How much more weight can I carry that really does not belong to me? How much more anger, resentment, jealousy, hate, stress, anxiety can I invest my time, energy, and focus on until I say to myself, man, this does not feel right. And so you see, we're not going to judge ourselves for that anymore. We're simply going to use those experiences as triggers to bring us back to our awareness. And so we're going to look at these triggers as gifts that we're giving ourselves. And when we do that, we start to see our brothers as gifts that are helping us realign with our true nature. We see whatever events that we once judged as gifts, because those events are now helping us realign with our true nature. And then we look back to our past, and we see that our brothers and sisters were simply part of a process that helped us realign with our true nature. And whatever events in the past happened that we judged ourselves for, and that we have so much trouble forgiving ourselves for, we now see it as a step. It was simply a step towards us realigning with our true nature. And so when we practice this over and over again, practicing catching the triggers, catching the signals to realign us, to bring us back to our true nature, then every time we do that, we experience more and more gratitude for everything, everyone, and all, because we now see everything, everyone, and all from our present, and from our past, as simply helping us to get us to this point in our experience where we actually have the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding to realize that we're not the illusion, that we're not the fairy tale, that we don't need the ego's tools, that we can make the conscious choice through free will to realign with our true nature, the state of love. And so that's where self-forgiveness comes in. For those individuals who have trouble forgiving themselves, think about this that we're doing today. And think about how you no longer need to curse yourself for the past. Because the past simply helped you get to this point in your life where you are now self-aware that that was useful to get you here. And so if it was useful, then it was helpful. And if it was helpful, it was a gift. So you were giving yourself a gift. Your brothers and sisters were giving you a gift. So there's no more need to judge them. There's no more need to condemn them to a life without you. You can offer them forgiveness because we've condemned them long enough and we've carried that weight long enough. But that has helped us, that experience has helped us come to a point where we experience this love, self-love. And when you experience this self-love, you know that forgiveness is in alignment with love. Forgiveness is an expression of love. And so you offer your forgiveness because that is who in truth you are. You're not judgment. You're not self-judgment. You're not judgment of other people. You are no longer that. You no longer have to condemn them into the prison within your own mind. Because when we judge others, that's all we do, is we put them within a prison within our own mind, and we carry them throughout our life. But when we choose to forgive them, because we now realize that they were simply part of a process that helped us come to align with our true nature, a state of love, then we offer them gratitude instead of cursing them. We forgive them instead of condemn them. We offer them peace instead of pain. So let us simply do that today. Let us use the ego's tools of judgment and self-judgment as allies in our process, not as adversaries. And when we use them, if we can use the illusion as allies, then everything else it's already an ally. So there's no more fighting to do if everything in this world is an ally for you, for your growth, for your development. If we're all allies and everybody from our past and from our present is an ally to helping us align with our true nature, to helping us remember who we truly are, then what need do you have for defense? You do not need to defend yourself any longer against the illusions, against the falsity of the ego. Because everything outside of truth is an illusion. Yes, we have been programmed to believe the illusion as real, but now we're realizing by using the illusion, we can remove ourselves from the illusion and return to a true nature and become that light of love. And we can raise that light higher and higher every time we catch ourselves in the illusion. We use it as a signal, as a trigger to bring us back. And every time we do that, we spend less and less time in the illusion, more and more time in our true nature. And then we just keep on doing that over and over again throughout the day. Catching the trigger, catching the signal, spending less time in the illusion, more time in our true energy, the state of love. And then slowly this begins to disappear from our lives. And there's no more need to defend ourselves against illusions. And so we achieve a state of peace because we know there's nothing out there that can judge us. Because not even ourselves anymore. We don't judge ourselves anymore. We don't have to worry about not forgiving ourselves anymore. Because now we understand, now we remember that every moment in our life was indeed a gift that we were offering ourselves. When seen through God's eyes, when seen through love's eyes, we see how every moment was indeed a gift. And when we remember that, when we practice aligning with that thought, with that truth, with our time, energy, and focus, then little by little we release that self-judgment and we remember that we are forgiven because in truth we were never judged. Because in truth, there's no such thing as judgment. So when you're having difficulty forgiving others or forgiving yourself, remember, the truth in you will never judge you or others. Only the illusion, the little mind set of the ego can judge yourself or others. This is all it is a blink in eternity's eyes. You have always been this
It's
love.
1 o'clock.
Thank you. You will always be this love. And so there's no more need to carry this idea that you can't forgive yourself. Because every moment has led you here. Every moment has been useful for you. So today, forgive yourself. And offer gratitude to God. Because simply by aligning yourself with the energy of God, with the energy of love, you forgive yourself. Because, again, judgment has never existed. Judgment has always been an illusion. Only the truth in you is true. So let us offer gratitude for that today. Thank you very much for your time. I love you very much. If you'd be so kind as to give this video a thumbs up and the YouTube video, it would help with the listening process, and it might help somebody find this information who can use it someday. If you'd like to leave me a comment or a question, I would be delighted to try and offer a response. And if you can please subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would love to have you in that community. Again, thank you for your time. I love you very much. And God willing, we'll see each other tomorrow. Peace.